What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about how empaths feel punished when they are not needed. But first, I want to talk about some of the things that leads up to the feeling you have when you're feeling punished by the person you love, who is normally a narcissist. Now, some of you probably experience these signs from people, and some of you probably have experienced similar signs of it that doesn't necessarily label a person as a narcissist, but at the same time, it's very traumatic and it's usually the start of a trauma bond. And what starts a trauma bond is number one, the narcissist or just the toxic person in general. They usually operate off patterns. And once those patterns are broken, they start to feel out of place. They start to question things as if it's a bad thing to change up sometimes, because they start to feel like they're not in charge anymore. And it comes from the simple fact that, you want to exercise your right to choose and have free will to do something different. And certain people who just, you know, have that take charge spirit. They don't know how to live and let live, just let people do what makes them happy, especially narcissists. You know, they need you to constantly cater to their needs. They need you to constantly make them feel good. Even if it drains everything out of you, they don't care. All they know is what they want, and they want it from you. The moment that you start to kind of take that away from them is when you're going to see a change in your relationship. Number two is to them, they start to look at things like, and I'm referencing the change. They start to look at it like, okay, well, what's this? Because I don't like it that way. So let's do it the other way. I think that way was better. And when they do that, they're just telling you that it's all about pleasing them. And when it gets to a point where things, you're just not getting excitement from it anymore, it's not doing anything for you. That's when you need to express that to the person, who doesn't want to be fair with you. They don't want fairness. You start to see that, they're not about sharing. They're not about give and take the right way. It's all about the give and take that only benefits them. Another thing is they love to dismiss you and make you feel guilty. And they punish you when things are not going their way. They start to diminish you as the caring and compassionate, empathetic person that you are. You'll start to see, narcissists or, certain individuals treat you that way. And then they're quick to jump in relationships, you know, to make you feel like they're just too good to be true. You start to feel like things are going quite fast, but you like it. You like it though, and you want to continue seeing them, and you're enjoying it for the moment, but you don't really know who the person is, even though they're trying to make you know everything about them within a matter of days. And they plan, back to back to back dates. They pretty much just make plans and have everything all laid out for you without even giving you, like a choice. So, some of these things is what normally happens in the beginning of a trauma bond. It's just like you give a little, I give a little. You give a little more, I'll give a little more. And it's just like they keeping score, but at the same time, what you're willing to give is way off what they're willing to give, because their way of giving is what is gonna benefit them in the end. It's like a trick. Um, it's never gonna be something that they're not gonna get something out of it. As long as they're gonna get something out of it, it can be. Don't think if they're paying a phone bill for you that okay, well that's not benefiting them. Yes, it is, because they're keeping tabs on you, so they need you to keep that phone connected. They need to know that they can reach out to you. So of course it's gonna benefit them, you know. Now if a person does something to where it's not going to give them anything in return, then that just goes to show that the giving was genuine and it comes from a good place. It comes from a place of caring, not just I care because if it's not doing nothing for you, then it also takes away from me. See, that's the selfish thinking of a narcissist. And you'll start to pick up on that. Like, can I ever have anything from you that's going to be all for me? And not that you're asking for it, and you definitely don't want to, build your relationship based off material things, money, stuff like that. But it happens at times. If someone want to do something nice for you, then that's a good thing. But you got to start to look at the patterns and, okay, so are you doing this for me because you just want me to have it? You think I'll enjoy it? Or are you doing it for me because, it's going to give you something in return? You know. But they never really sweep you off your feet when you think about it. You know, those too good to be true, the people that come around and you're wondering, like, where did you come from? You just come out of nowhere and they have you thinking now, and you can't get them off your mind. But they never really swept you off your feet. If anything, it was nothing but a dream. If anything, they just sold you a dream. It's just all about the smoke and mirrors to begin with. It's all about the words that come out of their mouth. And that's what got your attention. Promises, promises, promises. Promises they're probably not going to keep. Again, if they do, it's something in it for them, you know. And having us fooled to believe all these things that they got planned for us, but it never happens. That's a part of breadcrumbing and just stringing you along to always be there. They have it all planned out in the beginning when they first laid eyes on you, or, when they first kind of just picked you from the crowd. They picked you for a reason. Like Lovely Leah said on one of her videos a long time ago, she said they see you before you see you. And I said that one time. I was like, they noticed something about you that you didn't realize, because you don't even be thinking about all that. You don't be thinking about, okay, well, I'm a good person. I have a big heart. I just love people. I love doing nice things for people. You don't be thinking about that. You're just you. And when people can pick that up about you, they're either going to appreciate it and love you for it, and that's that, or they're going to try to benefit off of it. And normally that's where narcissists come into place at. And anytime they do fall through, it's only just the beginning of a trauma bond. They're very consistent. They have well thought out the plans that they've had for you, you know, and the relationship, it just becomes like a pattern of off and on, you know, uh, good and bad. It's just not the same energy all the time. If they're having a bad day, they pick you to take it off on. And you're wondering, where's this coming from? Well, I had a bad day myself. Like, this is unfair. I don't deserve this. They use you as their punching bag. And it hurts. And they know that it's going to hurt you. But they need that reaction. because it lets them know that they can get to you. And I know it sounds crazy because it is crazy. You know, it's supply. And by them having that bad day and not being able to have their way, because that's what it all comes down to. That bad day comes from them not having their way or being exposed or being held accountable. And they're not used to that. So they're mad now and they got to take that out on somebody. Take it out on you. And you don't know why. Why is this happening? This is unfair. Where did all this come from? They just break up with you out of the blue because they can't have their way. Or because somebody told them about themselves or pointed something out like, you need to fix that. They don't want to hear that. They can't stand your tone of voice. It's not about the correction itself. It's about you didn't speak to them in a kind way. And it's about the fact that you called them out. So they're going to hold a grudge against you regardless. But what they're not going to forget is the fact that you called them out. They're not going to let that go. Now you're wrong. Forget about what it is that they need to fix. It's about you calling them out on it. And if you're a highly sexual being as them, they don't have to work as hard to get that type of supply out of you because it's gonna come easy, especially if you in a relationship. They know that sex is a huge part of a relationship. So that's something that they don't have to work too hard for. However, they're gonna treat you as if you're just a tool, if you're just something to do. They don't know what it is to make love, you know. So y'all know what I mean about that. But come mad day, which normally happens when they can't have their way again, they easily discard you, devalue you, just because you ask for logic or clarity. And it just puts you in a state of confusion. It puts your mind at a place to where you just questioning everything again. Trauma bond, you know. And whereas in a stable relationship, there's room for correct there's room for correction and zero tolerance for dealing with the same errors. And there's good understanding. With the narcissist, they love to avoid the important issues that needs to be talked about. They constantly require so much from you while willing to only give the bare minimum. I mean, the very least. Again, if they're gonna do a little something different, it's only because it's gonna benefit them in a way. They love to avoid the elephant in the room by distracting you with the whole love bombing tactics, anything that makes you forget about holding them accountable. When you explain to them, look, we need to talk about this. It happened, and we need to address it. We need to talk about it. They're going to keep trying to find ways to go away from that conversation by bringing something else up, in a way to distract you with other things that they think might be more interesting to you. And all those things make a very empathic person feel unwanted and punished when they take away from you. It's a very, very hurtful thing, to just come home from work and you get this long text from them and they pretty much broke up with you because of something that they felt last night and you weren't aware of it until just now, you know. And you already knee deep in love with this person. You feeling them. You want to see them again. Everything's been going good. So where's this coming from? It's a hurtful thing when an empath start to feel punished because they're unwanted. And you're wondering, why don't you want me? What did I do to deserve this? That's all a part of that trauma bond, you know, especially with a covert narcissist. I mean, it's just like a tragedy waiting to happen when you get yourself caught up in something like that. But I'm going to continue this video in a few seconds. Y'all just hold tight. And I'll be back in a second. The reason why it hurts so bad to be punished and just thrown away out of the blue with no clear explanation behind it is because empathic people love deep. They love hard. They love honest and true. And they're sincere. And their love is kind and most of all patient. And that's why, the narcissist, they knows this already. And they know that most of the time that they can come back after they have discarded you. They used to that. They could stand on that. They're counting on you giving them chance after chance after chance. You know, and again, they see this in you already. This is a part of your makeup. This is who you are. And they don't see you changing anytime soon. So, they can pretty much depend on always being there when they want to be. And they know that it's going to hurt you if they show you something different for the moment. If they just completely become a whole nother person and get out of character and have you questioning them and especially questioning yourself. You know, you start to be like, okay, so what do you mean by this? And they can't even answer it. They can't answer it. If anything, they try to gaslight you to make you feel crazy. You're just imagining things. What are you talking about now? It's always something with you. You're never happy. And it's like, what are you talking about? We were just good yesterday. But what you're not realizing is that you said something. And that one thing you said stuck with them. And so now they got to teach you a lesson by punishing you, by threatening you with breaking up. And the narcissists, they can't stand to see the day just go along perfectly. Because, of course, they move the goalposts. But even when you can roll with the punches and you keep up with them, you kept up with them most of the day. The ball is always in their court. They're in control of everything. The moment that you think the day is over with, you get a call and it's something that they're requiring from you, or it's just something they're calling to pick with you about, just out of the blue. They do things like that because they're not getting enough from you. So if they can get even a negative reaction from you, negative backlash, if they can get sadness from you or, confusion, they're getting something out of you. They're not going to let the sun go down without getting some type of reaction or response out of you. They need that. You're their drug. You are their high. You're their high, you know. And the strength of that, alone is the only reason why they have a chance in the first place. It's because they pretty much know who they're dealing with. They picked you out. They seen something in you that they know they could benefit from, and they felt like it'll be around for a long time, for as long as they need you around. They don't want the same thing you want with them in the relationship. They're not striving for the same thing. They don't want a stable relationship. They're unstable creatures of habit. Everything that they're doing to you, they have done to someone in the past, and they're going to do to the person after you. They love to threaten to leave you, and but the moment that the tables are turned and you threaten to leave them, see how they're going to react. See how they act during this trial separation. And I'm not advising anyone to play these games with a narcissist. I'm not telling nobody what to do when you're dealing with some toxic person or just with the person who you're with. Because again, I can't just call everybody a narc. When you're dealing with somebody and you're going through this emotional roller coaster with them, and you don't know why, just wait until that trial separation and see how long they'll be able to do without. And watch how fast they come running back to you. You know, of course, with a narcissist, they're gonna hoover and they're gonna love bomb you when they see that you're holding on strong to the the non-communication or to the low communicating or to the gray rocking. Anything that you do to show the narcissist whatever, it's whatever. If this is what you want, this is what I'll give to you. Anything you do to show them that, it's like you're giving them a taste of their own medicine, except you're doing it for a good reason. You're not doing it out of spite, out of anger, rage, and you're not doing it for reasons to punish someone. You're doing it for peace of mind. And sometimes you do it for clarity. Hopefully, you get some clarity out of it when you just go no contact with a person who's constantly showed you the same repeated patterns of behavior. Nothing ever changes. You never get off the roller coaster. It's just the same thing over and over again. When you finally go that no contact or low contact or just limit the conversations or free rock, just anything to show them I don't need you, you know. Watch how they react. Watch. They're gonna be sick, literally sick without you. You don't even have to threaten them. You don't even gotta rub it in. You don't even have to threaten them with it. Because the narcissist's whole plan, when they throw you away to punish you, to teach you a lesson, their whole plan was to get a response. They need to see how you're going to respond to this. When they sent you that old nasty long text message, just a whole ball of confusion, and you just sitting there like, where did this come from? What are you talking about? They know what they were doing. But see, when you give them a taste of their own medicine, it's like it's for a different reason. But a lot of times the narcissists think that you're just playing a game right along with them. Like, I'm not trying to play games with you. We're too old for that. I don't play those type of games. Those games are for children. And the way you're behaving is like a child. And you have a tantrum when you can't have your way. And I'm just done. Like, seriously, I'm done. I'm not going to do this with you again. You can have those moments and you can create new ones. But guess what? I will not be there and I am not going to entertain it. Because as long as you don't have me to entertain you, you really don't have anything. Because you're going to be the one looked at as the clown in a circus, not me. You can smear my name all you want to. Guess what? It's not going to stick because that's not who I am. So I don't have to worry about. And I don't have to prove myself to anyone. You live your life constantly proving this fake persona of a good person who you're supposed to be and you're not. I don't have to do that because the real me is gonna show. I don't have to pretend. And with the narc, y'all know narc, the famous narc I work with. What she hates is that my silence it speaks volumes, and my actions speaks louder than any smear, any word she could try to put on me to make me seem like a bad person. So you really don't have to do nothing, but just be still and just let things be what it's gonna be. If they make it seem like you don't matter, you never have, you probably never will. Well, good, because guess what? They didn't deserve you in the first place. You know, and apology goes further than just words or just foreplay. You know, you got to make them prove it, hold them accountable, and they should show you genuine